Cryptocurrency is one of the most talked about and least understood topics of our time. You have heard the words 1,000 times, but if you have ever felt too embarrassed to ask what crypto actually is, this is for you. No hype, no jargon, no promises, just a clear, honest explanation of how this technology works, so that by the end you genuinely understand it. We will cover what a cryptocurrency really is, what a blockchain does, how a wallet works, and how to stay safe. This is purely educational, designed to help you understand the technology, not to tell you what to do with your money. So let us start at the very beginning and build your understanding one simple idea at a time. At its simplest, a cryptocurrency is a form of digital money that lives entirely on computers and is not issued or controlled by any single bank or government. Traditional money, like dollars, is managed by central institutions that keep the records and decide the rules. A cryptocurrency flips that model. Instead of one central authority keeping the ledger, the record of who owns what is shared across thousands of computers around the world at once. No single one of them is in charge, and they all hold the same copy. This is what people mean when they call crypto decentralized. It is digital money whose bookkeeping is done by a global network working together, rather than by one company in one building. That single idea is the foundation everything else is built on. The technology that makes this possible is called a blockchain, and the name describes exactly what it is. Picture a shared digital notebook that records every transaction. As transactions happen, they are gathered into a group called a block. Once a block is full and verified, it is sealed and linked to the block before it, forming a chain. Hence, blockchain. Each new block points back to the one before it, all the way to the very first, which makes the history extremely difficult to tamper with. If someone tried to change an old record, it would break the chain, and the thousands of computers holding copies would immediately reject it. So a blockchain is simply a shared, append-only history that everyone can see and no one can quietly rewrite. It is the trustworthy notebook at the heart of every cryptocurrency. So, what actually happens when crypto moves from one person to another? In the traditional world, if you send money, a bank sits in the middle, checks your balance, and updates its private records. On a blockchain, there is no middleman. Instead, you broadcast your transaction to the network, announcing that you want to send a certain amount to a certain destination. The computers on the network then check that the transaction is valid, confirming that you actually have what you are trying to send and that the request is properly authorized. Once enough of the network agrees it is legitimate, the transaction is bundled into a block and permanently recorded. The whole thing happens directly between participants, verified by the collective network rather than by a single company. That removal of the middleman is one of the core ideas that makes this technology different. Here is a point that surprises almost every beginner. A crypto wallet does not actually hold your coins. The coins, so to speak, only ever exist as records on the blockchain itself. What your wallet really holds are your keys, the secret credentials that prove a particular balance on the blockchain belongs to you and allow you to authorize sending it. Think of the blockchain as a vast public wall of locked mailboxes where everyone can see every mailbox and how much is in it. But only the person with the right key can open a given one. Your wallet is simply the secure keychain that holds your keys. This is why protecting your wallet really means protecting your keys, and it leads us to the single most important concept in all of crypto. Every wallet is built on a pair of keys that work together, and understanding them is the heart of using crypto safely. The first is your public key, which generates your address. You can share it freely, because it is like your mailbox slot. People use it to send things to you, and it reveals nothing dangerous. The second is your private key. This is the secret that proves ownership and authorizes anything leaving your wallet. It is like the only key that opens your mailbox, and it must never be shared with anyone, ever. The golden rule of crypto follows directly from this. Whoever controls the private key controls the funds. There is no bank to call and no password reset. If someone gets your private key, they have full access, and if you lose it, there is no recovery. Guard it accordingly. A natural question is, if no one is in charge, who decides which transactions are valid and keeps everyone honest? The answer is a process called consensus, where the computers on the network follow shared rules to agree on the truth. Different blockchains use different methods. In one well-known approach, computers compete to solve a hard mathematical puzzle, and the winner earns the right to add the next block, a process often called mining. In another, participants are chosen to validate based on a stake they commit. The details vary, but the goal is the same: make it expensive and difficult to cheat, and reward honest participation. Through consensus, thousands of strangers who do not know or trust each other can still agree again and again on a single shared history. That coordinated agreement, with no central referee, is the quiet breakthrough behind the whole system. You have surely heard of Bitcoin, which was the first cryptocurrency and remains the most well-known. It was created to be a form of digital money outside the traditional banking system. Since then, thousands of other cryptocurrencies have appeared, often called altcoins, each built for different purposes. Some aim to be faster or cheaper to use. Others are really platforms that let developers build applications on top of them, almost like an operating system for decentralized programs. Still others are designed for very specific jobs. The key educational takeaway is that crypto is not one single thing. It is a broad and varied category of projects, each with its own technology, goals, and trade-offs, sharing only the common foundation of blockchains and keys that we have been describing. Understanding that variety is the first step to telling them apart. One category worth understanding on its own is stablecoins. Most cryptocurrencies can change in value quite a lot from day to day, which makes them hard to use for everyday pricing. Stablecoins were designed to address that by aiming to hold a steady value, usually by being tied to a traditional currency like the US dollar, so that one unit is intended to remain worth about $1. They try to combine the speed and openness of moving value on a blockchain with the steadiness of familiar money. People use them as a kind of stable digital cash within the crypto world. As always, this is an explanation of what they are and how they are meant to work, not a suggestion about using them, but knowing the category exists fills in an important piece of the overall picture. Because crypto puts you in direct control, security is your responsibility, and a little knowledge prevents most problems. First, your private keys and recovery phrase are everything. Write your recovery phrase down, store it offline somewhere safe, and never type it into a website or share it with anyone, no matter how official they seem. Second, be deeply skeptical of anyone who contacts you out of the blue, promises guaranteed rewards, or pressures you to act fast. Those are the hallmarks of scams. Legitimate technology never needs your secret phrase, and no honest party can promise you free money. Third, double-check addresses before confirming anything, since transactions cannot be reversed. None of this is complicated, but it does require care. Treat your keys like the only key to a vault. Stay calm and verify before you trust. Let us clear up a few common misunderstandings because they cause a lot of confusion. First, crypto is not anonymous in the way people assume. Most blockchains are actually transparent, with every transaction visible to anyone, tied to addresses rather than names. Second, owning crypto is not the same as understanding it, and understanding the technology, as you are doing right now, is what separates an informed person from a confused one. Third, the blockchain itself being secure does not mean every project or website built on top of it is safe. The underlying technology and the people using it are different things. And finally, crypto is not magic or free money. It is a genuine technology with real strengths and real limitations, and treating it as anything else is how people get into trouble. Clear understanding is your best protection. Let us bring it all together. A cryptocurrency is digital money recorded not by a central bank, but by a worldwide network. That record lives on a blockchain, a shared, tamper-resistant history of transactions. Moving value happens directly between people and is verified by the network through consensus with no middleman. Your wallet holds your keys, and your private key is the one secret you must protect above all, because whoever holds it holds the funds. There are many different cryptocurrencies for many different purposes, including stablecoins that aim to hold a steady value, and staying safe comes down to guarding your keys and avoiding anything that sounds too good to be true. You now understand the real foundations, which is more than most people ever bother to learn. To keep learning with clear, honest, jargon-free explanations, visit the link below, and we will see you in the next one.